You won't believe what happened next. He was there, on stage, doing what he'd done for more than 50 years. Bass slung low, sunglasses on, steady as ever. And then, just like that, Dusty Hill was gone. No big farewell, no curtain call. One night he went to bed and that was it. Fans across the world were left stunned. Not just because of the loss, but because of who it was. Dusty wasn't just another rock star. He was the foundation of a band that never changed, never flinched, never sold out. And now, all eyes turned to Billy Gibbons. What would he say? What would he do? Could the band even go on? The answer? It would take a few days, but when it came, it was powerful, unexpected, and deeply moving. Let's rewind. July 28, 2021. A date fans of rock and roll won't forget. Dusty Hill, the bass-wielding powerhouse of ZZ Top, passed away in his sleep at his home in Houston. The announcement was short and heartbreaking. We are saddened by the news that our compadre Dusty Hill has passed away. That word, compadre, hit home. Because to Billy and drummer Frank Beard, Dusty wasn't just a bandmate. He was family. This wasn't the end of a tour. It was the end of a chapter in rock history. For more than 5 decades, ZZ Top stood as a symbol of pure, unfiltered Texas-born rock. They weren't flashy. They didn't jump on trends. They didn't need to. Their music did the talking. And Dusty, with his gravelly vocals, grooving bass and cool-as-ice presence, was the heartbeat of it all. He didn't seek attention, but you noticed him. You felt him in every note of tush, La Grange, and sharp-dressed man. He held it down, kept it solid. And he did it with a calm confidence that made it all look effortless. So yeah, when he died, it wasn't just shocking. It felt impossible. But here's what most people didn't know. Dusty had been in pain for a long time. Quiet pain. The kind you don't talk about unless you have to. Chronic bursitis. Ulcers. A broken hip and shoulder. Conditions that make even getting out of bed a struggle, let alone touring the country and playing high-energy shows. And yet, Dusty never complained. Never asked for sympathy. Just a few days before his death, he'd stepped away from the tour, telling the guys he needed to recover. Most fans thought it was temporary. A minor setback. He even joked with Billy, telling him to let the guitar tech take it to the top. Classic Dusty. Still thinking about the band. Still putting the music first. But what no one realized was just how much he was hiding. Behind the shades, behind the beard, Dusty was quietly fighting battles that were wearing his body down. It wasn't one thing that took him, it was everything. As Billy Gibbons later put it, his hip, shoulder, ulcers, it just became too much for his body. He went home, scheduled a doctor's appointment, went to sleep that night, and never woke up. Billy was devastated. In interviews afterward, he opened up in a way fans had never seen. The man who had spent decades on the road with Dusty, the highs, the lows, the wild nights and early mornings, was suddenly without his musical brother. He described it as unexpected. Even though Dusty had been slowing down, no one believed it would be the end. Not yet. In one interview, Billy said, he wasn't really out of sorts until we showed up for the first show. I could just tell. He wasn't 100%. After that show, Dusty said he wanted to see a doctor. Told Billy, I'd like to take a moment and go see the physician. But before that appointment even happened, Dusty was gone. And then came the silence. For a while, no one said much. Not because they didn't care, but because they were still trying to believe it was real. But when Billy Gibbons finally broke that silence, he shared something that would shape everything moving forward. Dusty, in his final days, had made it clear, the show must go on. Not just a phrase. Not just something he said offhand. He meant it. He looked Billy in the eye, shook his finger, and made it known he wanted ZZ Top to keep going. And he already had someone in mind to fill in. Elwood Francis. Now, this wasn't some last-minute replacement. Elwood had been by their side for over 30 years, working as Billy's guitar tech. He knew the band inside and out. More importantly, Dusty trusted him. That mattered. So when ZZ Top stepped back on stage without Dusty, but with Elwood holding down the low end, it wasn't just a concert. It was a tribute, a celebration, a continuation of what Dusty helped build. And then, something beautiful happened. During a show, the band played Tush, but instead of singing it live, they let Dusty's recorded vocals fill the venue. On stage, his iconic hat rested on a mic stand. A single spotlight lit it up. The crowd erupted. Some cried. Some cheered. But everyone felt it, Dusty was still there. That simple moment, just a hat on a mic stand, hit harder than any pyrotechnics ever could. Tributes poured in. From legends like Ozzy Osbourne and Slash, to younger musicians like Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Everyone had a story, a memory, a reason to respect the man who helped shape the sound of rock. Flea wrote, "Dusty made that bottom end move like thunder." Paul Stanley from Kiss said, "His groove was the glue of ZZ Top." Joe Bonamassa called him a true bluesman who brought the genre to the masses. In Houston, local artists painted murals of Dusty. Fans left hats and sunglasses at venues around the world. It wasn't just mourning, it was love. Pure, honest fan-to-artist love. And as all of this unfolded, Billy and Frank had a decision to make. Could they keep going? Should they? Dusty had already answered that for them. So they hit the road. Not because they needed to, but because it's what Dusty wanted. And every night since, they've been playing not just for the fans, but for him. They're also working on new music. Songs that started before Dusty passed, and are now being finished with even more heart. Billy said the new tracks aren't sad, they're alive. Full of the energy that Dusty brought to everything he touched. Billy's solo career is also thriving. Albums like The Big Bad Blues and Hardware show a deeper dive into the blues, Dusty's favorite. He's working with younger artists, staying creative, and pushing boundaries while honoring the past. And there's even a documentary in the works. One that'll tell the real story of ZZ Top. The grind, the laughs, the friendship, and of course the legacy of Dusty Hill. So what now? The band plays on. Bitter. They create. They remember. Not because they're ignoring the loss, but because they're carrying it. Wearing it like a badge. Every riff, every lyric, every moment on stage is a tribute to a man who gave it all and asked for nothing in return. Dusty Hill didn't just help build ZZ Top. He was ZZ Top. And now, with Elwood on bass, Billy up front, and Frank behind the drums, the Little OL band from Texas is still rolling strong. But now it's not just about the music. It's about legacy. So, if you've ever turned up Sharp-Dressed Man in the car, or heard the fuzzy tone of Dusty's bass and smiled, do one thing. Keep listening. Keep rocking. And remember, the show must go on. If this story hit home, if Dusty Hill ever made you tap your foot or air bass along to a ZZ Top track, hit that like button. Drop your favorite ZZ Top memory in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe, we've got more stories from the heart of rock coming your way. Because legends never die, they just keep playing.